And welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. Yeah, if you look in front of me, you can see a bunch of books, and the beautiful lady next to me, who I'm going to interview in a minute, has written all these books and more. But I just want to tell you a quick story. So, I was out one day, and I took the receptionist here with me to a networking event called Jamming Jensen. It's actually like a street festival, and it's every Thursday night. And while we were there, we ran into Leah Orr, who's the author that wrote these books. And Melissa was with me, and Melissa has kids, and she was talking about her daughter journaling. And she picked up book, a journal book, I guess, and Melissa said, I think I'll give this to my daughter, and you gave it to her. You don't find that many places.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that to me said what Leah had to offer people was her kindness and her heart and her energy, and my belief is that that goes into her book. So my question is, how long are you writing?
I've been writing since 2008.
Okay, so since 2008 to now, you have become a best-selling author.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so when you started writing, was the plan to become a writer and be a best-selling author, or was the plan, I'm going to do some writing and whatever?
So I'll back up a little bit.
Okay.
I have 3 daughters, and my youngest daughter has cystic fibrosis.
Okay.
So my mom and I, my mom is an artist, and so my mom and I decided we would write children's books, and we would donate all the profit from the books to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation to help find a cure not only for Ashley, but for 25,000 other children in the United States, 75,000 children worldwide who have cystic fibrosis.
Cystic fibrosis is a lung illness. Continue.
And so she drew all of the illustrations for both of my children's books. I have 4 children's books. I brought 2 of my most popular ones today. And then I wrote the stories, and then with my book, It Wasn't Me, my oldest daughter helped write the story as well. So it's 3 generations of women writing a story for children, and the profit goes to cystic fibrosis.
All right, so the question is, do these 4 books, children's books, do they relate back to illness?
2 of them do. 2 of them are about a cystic fibrosis child. And then these 2 are my more mainstream books. Messy Tessy is a #1 bestseller on Amazon a few different times over the years.
I think I married her. Go ahead.
And so that's actually what made me a bestseller, was my Messy Tessy book.
It's funny, because when you said it, and I said, I think I married her. No. My daughter's middle name is Ness. And I used to call her as a child Messy Nessie.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
That's great.
And she hates that middle name, but that's her middle name. And,
no, it's great.
Okay, so she was Messy Nessie. Okay, so when you said that, it just kind of struck in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wrote the story. How old is your youngest daughter?
My youngest daughter now is 19.
So, you write the story, does she relate to it?
When I started writing in 2008, she was small. And she related to it, yes. And I've done a lot of time in classrooms reading to children, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, and they can relate to the books very easily. In the book Messy Tessy, Aunt Fran falls asleep, Tess gets into all kinds of mischief.
Yeah.
And It Wasn't Me, Peter has older brothers and pets, but he's always getting blamed for making messes. But every page you have to sleuth out who the real culprit is.
Oh, okay.
So it's a mystery on every page.
And it's interactive.
And it's interactive, yeah.
Oh, that's
which is really
cool.
Nice. Yeah.
So somewhere in this is this creative woman, that found a path. What'd you do prior to that?
Prior to that, I worked in the hotel business.
Okay.
In hotel management for 12 years.
Okay.
And so I always wanted to write stories about the hotel business. So when my kids were all away at college, it was a perfect opportunity to write my thrillers.
Okay.
In the executive suite, trapped in a hotel suite, there's a murder. It's a whodunit with a pretty good twist. Cool. And the reason I wrote those books is because I wanted to bring thrillers to a whole group of people that love a thriller, will sit for a Netflix movie in the thriller category or horror category, but don't really have the time to read. So I thought, how can I write a book that will allow you to enjoy that type of a thriller without having to put in the 8 hours it takes to read a book. So the executive suite can be written in an hour. Can be read in an hour and a half.
Okay, so part of that book, God forbid the murder part, but part of that book is experiences that you've seen within that industry.
Definitely, most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because my mother-in-law is a writer, and she writes from experiences that she's been. So
Of course.
one of her books is in a donut coffee shop, because that's where they used to hang out. Her husband and her used to hang out. So
Yeah,
that became...
that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay. So now you decide to write.
Yes.
You get family support?
Of course. Yeah.
Well, it's hard because that's like, I hate to say it this way, that's like acting or singing. It's a small group that ever make it.
Sure.
Okay? So a lot of times family says, what are you doing? Like for me, I got in the entertainment industry. It was like,
Sure.
don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Get a real job. It's a pipe dream.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it was like, the more they said it, the more I was pushed to do what I had to do.
Right.
So you write Executive Suite, first thriller type book you wrote?
First thriller, yes.
Okay. So how did it get published?
I published it exclusively through Amazon initially. And then I published it through Ingram. So you can find my books not only on Amazon, but also Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, and wherever books are sold.
Was it self-published?
Initially.
Okay.
And then I went worldwide with it.
Okay. So you finished that book and you read it after. Did you think that, it's good, but I could do a lot better?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. I can imagine anybody who is in this type of industry, or really any type of entertainment industry, or even writing a song. You write a song and you sing it 100 times. And after you do that, you're like, oh, I should have added this line, or I should have said this differently. But you can't, because now it's already out there. So I try not to, I'll read the book, edit the book, and then once it's out there, I try to just let it go and then start something new.
It's interesting you say that, because I was told by a pretty famous celebrity that he never watches anything he's done.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay? Because he's already done it.
Yeah.
And his other philosophy is, it doesn't matter what someone says. First of all, it only takes one person to change your whole life.
Right, of course.
And if you're doing something and there's a million people there, or there's one person, you should still do the best job you can do.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So, yeah, I get it. Did you edit your own books?
I didn't. I sent it to a professional editor.
You really
I have a
can't
particular
edit.
editor that I love.
Okay, but can you really edit your own books?
No, you can't.
Because you
No.
see words
Yeah.
that you think should be words. Okay?
Right.
So, all right, so you write that. How many pages or chapters in Executive Suite?
It takes an hour and a half to read, and it's about 125 pages.
Okay. So you write it to 125. How long does it take you to write?
It took about 3 months to write.
Okay.
Then my editor had it for about a month.
Of that 3 months? Okay, so for you, you said, and that was your first thriller style
Yes.
book. So you said, I'm going to write this book. And you tapped into your memory of things that you've dealt with and seen. Hopefully the murder part was not something you've seen, but this day and age, who knows?
Yeah, it was, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you already had all this inspiration.
Yes. I just didn't have the time to write it because my kids were at home. I've got 3 daughters. So you can
Sorry.
imagine that takes up a lot of your
Yeah.
time. So when they were all away at college, then I had all this extra time, which was wonderful. So, and then after this book, the next book in the same series, Murder at the Opulence Hotel, is The Bartender. Same hotel in the Speakeasy. A patron is poisoned this time. Also a whodunit with a pretty good twist.
That's so cool. Okay, so now my question to you is, did you ever think about taking a book and turning it into a screenplay?
I would love to do that.
Okay. And then, I mean, that's kind of short, so that would be, you could
But it's not short for a screenplay. A screenplay will essentially become a movie, which a movie is only about an hour and a half.
Right.
So it's actually perfect for that because you wouldn't have to cut anything out of it.
And the scenario is, it would probably, being in this industry, it would probably, you probably could make that book, as interesting as it is, into a short film. It probably doesn't have to be a full-length movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be.
Okay, and then in film
But it could
festivals.
be.
Okay, so you finished the Suite, then is this the second book?
That's the second book. And that book can be read in about 3 hours. It's a little bit longer.
Well, for most people.
No, for everybody. I mean, yeah.
For me, it would take a little bit longer.
It's a 3 hour
I have to
read.
stop. Okay. Similar type story?
Similar type story. Same hotel. but this time it's in the speakeasy. And all the characters, their signature drink is in the back of the book, all of the recipes, which is really kind of nice.
You really need to read the books. I'm going to tell you why, because then you know what hotel not to go to. Okay?
Right.
Because you want to make it through that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I'm going to go back now because who's your clientele? Well, obviously, who's your people who like thrillers
Yeah.
are into this. And is Executive Suite, these two books, one follows the other?
One follows the other, but they can be read out of order.
Okay, they can be read.
So if you were to read The Bartender and then decide to read the Executive Suite, you would get the backstory on one of the characters.
Okay.
Or you could read the Executive Suite first, already know about that character, so then when you read The Bartender, she's already familiar to you.
Okay, now...
But separate thrillers, separate murders.
Separate. Okay. But this is only a droplet of the 10 books that you do.
Yes.
So you have 2 more children's books. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that would be, you would need 6 more books.
Yeah, I have, I've got a few journals.
Okay.
And I have short stories that are only available to download in the e-version, in the electronic version.
What's next for this poor hotel that nobody wants to go to now?
It's a secret. It's a secret.
Is there another one?
There will be another one. I'll have a new book in January. I'll come back and tell you all about it.
Okay, did you work at this hotel?
No,
You're still alive, so it's a blessing.
Yeah. I worked for Hilton for many years, and I
Okay.
worked at the Fontainebleau Hilton. But these books are not based on any particular hotel,
Right.
just based of the experiences that I've had within the hotel industry. But the thrillers are a story in and of itself.
You know, it's really pretty amazing what can come out of people's minds when they tap into it.
Right.
Okay? Like
Sure.
people say to me, hey, can you send me some questions? And I'm like, yeah, no. No, just come. We'll figure it out. Okay?
Sure.
My mind is like, all right, you're here. I've been through, I've done over 60,000 interviews. So things will come up that I want to know, and I want to know them, and I want them to learn it as I'm learning it.
Right. Sure.
If I asked you questions and you answered them in email, and then you come on, I'd skip over so much stuff.
Sure.
It would almost like be it would almost be like editing my own show.
Yeah.
Okay? And I find that pretty interesting because, ironically enough, English was my worst subject in school.
Really?
And here I am doing talk shows
Yeah.
for 20-something years. Okay, your kids.
Yes.
Could I follow in your footsteps in writing at all?
No, not at all.
Okay. If they wanted to, would you encourage them?
Of course, yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's different for everybody.
For sure.
You know.
But it's a great industry, and where the industry is going is really exciting as well, because people are coming away from holding a physical book and more towards downloading on their computer or onto their phones. So this way, if you're in a doctor's office and they say, okay, well, it's going to be an hour and a half wait. Okay, well, what am I going to do for an hour and a half? Well, instead of playing
Time Magazine is
yeah, well, I know, but people don't want to do
highlight. Well, you can find the things like we do.
Yeah, I remember those. So you can open your tablet or open your phone and go directly to the book that you downloaded and just read and entertain your mind while you're waiting for the doctor. Or if you're on a plane and it's going to be an hour flight, an hour and a half flight, you can read my entire book during that time.
Do you read?
I do.
Okay. And I'm going to put you on the spot. Mm-hmm. Would you prefer to read a book or online?
Okay, so I'm going to say something completely different from both of those things. I love Audible. I
Okay.
love to listen because oftentimes when I'm sitting reading, I'm thinking, I need to do laundry, I need to wash the dishes, I need to run some errands. But if I have it in my ears, I can do all of those things and still enjoy a book at the same time.
When my parents moved down here 27 years ago, so my dad drove one car, me and my mom drove another car, and my mom got Rainmaker on cassette.
Okay, yeah,
that
that was
made
a great book.
Okay, and that made, because I don't do a lot of reading, but that made the ride so much
Yeah,
easier and more
yeah,
to enjoy. But
definitely.
if taking that off the plate, would you rather hold a book or would you rather hold a Kindle or whatever?
I'd rather hold a book.
Right. People who are readers, I find, there's something magical about holding a book.
There is,
and by turning the pages.
And the smell of it, the feel of it. And also in my books, the way that they're designed is when you open them, even if you're in the middle of the book, none of the words will get swallowed by the crease in the middle,
Okay.
by any of the binding.
Okay.
So, I mean, so that you could open it at any place and it won't be difficult for your eyes to read. And it's 14-point bold, so they're large print.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, it's important.
For old
At our
people like
age.
me. No, I got years on you, girl.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm 65. I got years on you.
Okay, so just 10 extra years.
Okay, there's a lot of years.
That's, it's a few.
At 80, you'll still be 29.
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so.
Okay, so you have these two, but there's like 4 more of these kind of books.
No,
But
these are
they're
my
journals?
only thrillers.
Okay.
I have 2 journals, and I have some ebooks that you can download that
Okay,
are more of
short story.
short story horror movies, horror stories.
Okay, so journal
Yes,
book.
I have 2. I've got a dream journal and a wish journal
Of yours?
of mine. Yeah.
So
My mother did the artwork for the covers, which
Right.
are beautiful. There's some of her paintings, some of her more popular paintings, and I use those for the journal covers. And then on the wish journal has on every few pages there are different quotes about wishes, and in the dream journal on every page is a different inspirational quote about dreams, and then place where you can write about your dreams and even draw a picture, which is really nice for young girls or young boys. You write down your stories, you write down your dreams as a child, and then to go back to that later on in life and say, oh, look at all the things I used to dream about, and I'll bet some of them even came true.
And it's funny because there is a line saying that a wish is just a dream waiting to come true.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I think Cinderella said that.
it's also in the song from You Got Mail,
Oh.
the theme song.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about a dream just being a wish just being
Yeah.
a dream waiting to come true. So those wish and dream are yours. From those journals are yours.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever look back at them?
I don't like to go back and read
Okay.
much, but every once in a while I will, and it's interesting to see where your mind was at years previously and how far you've come in your thought process
So
and in your life.
in your wishes and your dreams, have you obtained some of those that you've had?
Oh, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
It's so interesting because women are so complex compared to guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, you women, just when you put things together, they have a cohesion about them because you have all the attachments that go with them. Like, I'll say the wall is blue.
Mm-hmm.
You'll say the wall is blue, but why the wall is blue?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think women have an easier time writing than men?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Why did you choose this genre?
Because it was my industry that I worked in, the hotel business.
Oh, okay.
And I love a thriller. I'm a big Stephen King fan. Yeah.
Okay. How do people find you? I know that you're in Jensen.
Every Thursday night, you can find me at Jam and Jensen, downtown Jensen Beach, and I'm on the same side of the street as Mulligan's. And
Where I met you.
Yes, and I'm there from 5 to 9 every Thursday. Also on Amazon.com, if you plug in my name, all my books will pop up, and BarnesandNoble.com or wherever books are sold.
You know, I remember in school they gave us the thing that we had to read a book and write about it. It had to be a biography,
Okay.
but I wasn't a reader. So, and I wasn't a big sports person, but in my day, Mickey Mantle was a big baseball player. So when I went back in September to school, and they wanted us to write about what we read, I wrote a whole thing about Mickey Mantle, like it was I made up that it was from a book I read, okay, and I got a B+ on it, and I realized that it really wasn't about reading the book for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was about using creativity that I had in my own mind and things that I knew to be able to deliver this paper to the teacher.
Right.
So you use the same type of thing to do your books.
I do.
Okay. Do you miss the industry that you were in?
I loved the industry. I had 3 children at the time, and I had to give it up. The hotel industry is rough, and I was a manager in sales, and my hours were 12 to 15 hours a day. And you just can't do that and have a family. It would have been too difficult, so I retired early.
And now you have a child that's following in your footsteps.
Yes, yeah, my middle child. Yeah.
Okay.
in the hotel industry, which is a great industry, and it was so fun. And I was very sad the day I had to give it up.
No, it's funny. We live a life, and for me, it's about following a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in real estate, still do real estate, love real estate, but I got to tell you that I love what I do here, and I never thought I would
Sure.
be in this industry.
Yeah.
Everybody, check out the books. You know the names of all 10 books?
These are the 4 that I'm promoting today.
Okay, which
So,
are?
Messy Tessy, It Wasn't Me, The Executive Suite, and The Bartender are my thrillers.
Okay, check them out, but as you're checking them out, you're going to run into her other 6 books.
Mm-hmm.
Check them out, download them. If they're short reads, you know that I'll be downloading them because short read is for me, because that's just who I am. Leah Orr, I think that it's pretty amazing that you're a best-selling author.
Thank you.
Because it's a hard industry to be in.
It is a hard industry, yeah,
And
sure.
it impresses me that you took an industry and what you would have gotten, in my opinion, is, what are you doing? Get a real job. Don't be stupid. That's what you get when you
Right.
choose an industry that's tough. I got it. You got it.
Yeah.
But on top of all that, the real impressive thing was the day that I met you and you gave Melissa a book
That's so
for her
sweet.
kid.
Yes.
And I think that that shows the kind of person that somebody is.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Everybody, have a great day. We'll be right back.